Dalisay. Say the word, it feels beautiful, right? It just rolls off the tongue.
It really does. It's Tagalog.
And if you look it up, if you ask your tita, they'll tell you it means pure, unblemished.
Flawless. The definition is something like water that's never been touched by dirt or gold with no alloy in it.
Exactly. And if you just looked at the album cover that dropped, a few days ago on Valentine's Day, you'd be forgiven for thinking that's exactly what this album is.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
You see the visuals, all that white space, the serenity, and you think, okay, here we go.
Right. This is the pristine, untouched version of the artist we've been following for years. You think you're getting Innocence.
Which is a totally fair assumption to make. I mean, given the title.
Yeah.
But that assumption lasts for, maybe 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Exactly, until you get to the title track. Because usually when we talk about purity in pop culture or in R&B, we're talking about a lack of experience.
We're talking about something that haven't been, quote-unquote, ruined by the world yet. We equate it with naivety.
Or virginity, frankly.
But then you get past that gorgeous intro, you settle into that Joyance production, which, my God, we need a whole segment on the textures alone. And Liannarie just licks you dead in the eye, metaphorically.
And delivers the line.
The line that I honestly think is going to define the entire musical conversation of 2026. She sings, "Malinis sa spirit, not malinis sa story."
Clean spirit, not a clean story. It just stops you cold, doesn't it? It's such contradiction on the surface. She is flipping the entire table over in the first act.
She's saying, look, I am not innocent. Don't you dare call me innocent. I have been through the mud. I have been through the heartbreak. My story.
It's messy.
It's so messy. It's got plot holes and villains and so many stains. It's dirty work. It's been absolute dirty work for years.
But the spirit, she says, the core of her, the intent, that's what's been scrubbed clean. And that's the distinction that changes everything. This isn't the purity of innocence.
No.
It's the purity of survival.
It's the kind of clean you only get after you walk through a fire, burned everything non-essential off of you, and you're just standing there in the ash, but you're completely 100% yourself.
And that creates this incredible tension right from the jump. She says later in that same song, and I know we're skipping ahead, but we have to set the stage here. She says, "I do not do saved, I do paid attention."
I had to pause the track. I'm not kidding. I literally hit pause and just stared at my wall for a solid minute.
I believe it.
That distinction between being saved like some damsel waiting for a prince and paying attention like a scholar of your own trauma, that is the entire mission statement of this album.
It is. And it really sets the stakes for what we're about to get into.
Yeah.
Because let's just orient ourselves for a second. Today is Wednesday, February 18th, 2026.
The world has had exactly 4 days with Dalisay.
4 days. It dropped on Valentine's Day, which that's a power move in itself.
Oh, for sure.
And the cultural shift has been, you feel it, right? It's palpable. We're not just listening to a sequel to Sincerely Liana.
No, we're witnessing the death of a persona.
And the birth of an entity.
Right. We're moving from the Tala Diwata era, which was beautiful, don't get me wrong. We loved the star goddess vibe, that ethereal, floaty...
I'm just happy to be here energy.
Exactly. But this is the fully realized Liannarie, her birth name. This is her taking the keys to the kingdom. So our mission today is pretty straightforward, but it's heavy.
It is.
We're going to decode the 12 specific official tracks of Dalisay. We're going to figure out how she got from the letters I never sent phase to the bill has been paid in full phase.
Well, okay. Before we even step onto the runway, before we touch track one, we have to deal with the elephant in the room.
Ugh.
And it's a messy, digital, really annoying elephant.
The leaks. We have to talk about the leaks.
We have to. Because if you've been on any social media, any forum in the last, 72 hours, you have seen them, the Dalisay leaks folders.
And you've seen people dragging in tracks like Red Flag or That If You Wanted to Demo or those old remixes.
From the Thank You Tala project.
Yeah.
And they're trying to say, oh, this is the deluxe version or this is the real album.
And we're here to say, stop it. Just stop.
Jeez.
We have a rule here, and we are invoking the Truth Fluent rule right now. We are only, and I mean only, discussing the official 12-track listing that Liannarie released.
Everything else, it's noise. Or worse, it's closet cleaning. Red Flag is a bop. I get it. It's catchy.
It's a great song, but it belongs to a different emotional tax bracket.
That is the perfect way to put it. An emotional tax bracket. Thank You Tala, which dropped back in December 25. That was the closet cleaning. That was her burning the boats.
Yeah.
That was her taking all the mess and confusion of her 20s, putting it in a box, and leaving it on the curb for trash day.
Dalisay is the brand new house she built on the ashes of that fire.
So if you drag those old, messy, unresolved songs into this new, clean space, you are ruining the narrative arc she so carefully built. You're muddying the water she spent 9 months purifying.
So for this deep dive, if it's not on the official 12-track list, it does not exist in this room. Agreed.
100% agreed. We are keeping it truth-fluent. We are respecting the artist's curation.
Okay. And to really get why this album lands so hard, we have to quickly reset the world we're in. We need to talk about the 11 SAX context.
You can't separate her from it.
You cannot separate Liannarie from the ecosystem that DLB built. It's impossible.
And to really understand where she is now, you have to remember where she was less than a year ago. Go back in your mind to May 2025.
The sugar palm sit down.
The sit down.
I remember it so vividly, the heat, the drinks, the tension in the air. We were all sweating, and it was not just the humidity.
I remember Liannarie, or Tala, as we mostly knew her then. How was she?
She was quiet. She walked in behind DJ River, she sat down, and she just observed.
She was watchful. We called her the mirror to DLB back then, remember? She reflected his pain, she reflected his hustle, his storytelling.
She was the feminine echo of his masculine grit, the moon to his sun. Reflecting his light, but not necessarily generating her own.
But today, February 2026, she is not a mirror anymore.
No way!
Mirrors just reflect what's put in front of them. On Dalisay, she is the light source. She is the sun.
She is generating the beam, and that is so critical because we all know what's happening in the background. We all know what's happening with DLB.
Looming exit. The architect is walking away.
Daniel Bates is planning his departure from the music industry. He's leaving the table. We've all heard the voicemails. We've seen the reports.
And for so long, the question hanging over 11 SIX was, what happens to the house when the father leaves?
Dalisay is the answer to that question.
It is. She isn't just living in the house, she's renovating the foundation. She is positioning herself track by track as the torchbearer of the entire legacy.
It's a huge responsibility. It's the difference between inheriting the family business and actually becoming the CEO.
Well, when you hear how she opens this album, I don't think she's worried about the responsibility at all. I think she's been waiting for the keys.
Let's do it. Let's jump into part 1, the concept and the flex.
Tracks 1 and 2, Runway and Runway 11.
Okay, so track 1, Runway, produced by Joyans.
The Queen.
Can we just talk about the sheer audacity of this move? You name your album Pure, you release it on Valentine's Day, a day of softness and romance.
And the very first sound we hear is the whine of a jet engine and a champagne flute clinking.
It's a flex, an immediate, unapologetic flex.
Absolutely. It is a massive power move.
Yeah.
But you have to listen deeper than the surface. It's not an empty flex.
No, because you hear the lyric, tag check, new flex, every city my runway. And if you're not paying close attention, you think, okay, this is standard R&B braggadocio.
Look at my money, look at my success. But Joyans does not produce standard flex tracks. Listen to the melody under the bravado. It isn't aggressive.
It's melancholic. It sounds expensive, but it also sounds emotional. There's a loneliness to it.
That's the key. And it all clicks into place with the line that defines the track for me.
Peace cost what my plane paid.
There it is. That is the whole thesis. She's saying, yeah, I'm flying private. Yeah, there's gold on my feet. But I didn't buy this stuff to show off to you.
I bought it because it buys me silence. It buys me distance from the chaos. It buys me peace.
It directly connects financial independence to emotional safety. Think back to the Sincerely Liana era. Where was she?
She was trapped. She was trapped in rooms with toxic men, unable to leave because she didn't hold the keys, she didn't pay the rent, she didn't own the car, she was a passenger in her own life.
And now?
Now she owns the plane. And as she says, if you know, then you in reach. If you are not on that plane with her, you do not get access to her energy. It is a boundary set at 30,000 feet in the air.
And the production. That Touched by Joyans tag is a promise. It has that shimmer, right? It's not some aggressive trap beat. It's melodic, almost floaty.
It feels like you're actually on that jet, looking out the window at the clouds, and you have this sudden realization that nobody down there, none of the drama, none of the noise can touch you. It's isolation, but it's peaceful isolation.
And then, just as you settle into that peace, that isolation, she transitions seamlessly into track 2, Runway 11.
And she brings in the squad. Low-key, him and Melody Sin.
This is so smart. It's like she lands the plane and her crew is waiting right there on the tarmac. The isolation is a choice, and it's over. Now community begins.
If the seat recline, the drip elevate.
It's establishing this high-value aesthetic for the whole crew. But look at the number in the title, 11.
It's a deliberate nod, 11 SIX. She's bringing the family with her on the runway.
And Melody Sin, especially, representing the Crown XI Collective. Her voice adds these harmonic layers that just make it feel communal. It's not just, I made it, it's, we made it.
Melody Sin's voice always feels like luxury velvet. It just has this texture that grounds the track. It's telling you that while Liannarie is the star, she is part of a constellation.
It breaks that lonely at the top trope immediately. She's at the top, yeah, but she brought her friends with her. There's no envy, there's no competition, just shared success.
So the first two tracks, they establish the new status quo. She has the money, she has the team, she has the freedom. She's established that she is fundamentally safe.
And what happens when you finally feel safe?
You can afford to be soft.
Exactly. And that is where we hit part 2 of the album, the soft phase, tracks 3 through 6. This is where we see how she handles intimacy, now that she's the one in charge.
This section of the album, I'm not gonna lie, it's my jam. It kicks off with track 3, If You're Dreamin'.
This song it's a statement.
It's the ultimate cool girl anthem, but not in that fake way. You know how some songs pretend to be unbothered, but you can just tell the singer is actually weeping in the vocal booth?
Totally. The performative nonchalance, I don't care, is usually a mask for I care way too much.
But this one feels different. It feels earned.
It's a seismic shift from the sincerely Lianna. Remember tracks like Must Be Love?
Yeah.
But not enough. She was begging to be seen, agonizing over whether he loved her, checking his last seen status.
Overanalyzing every single text message.
Here, just listen to the core lyric. If you wake tomorrow and forget my name, that's okay. I still shared your flame.
I gasped. The first time I heard that, I literally gasped. That is detachment level 1000.
It is. She's watching him sleep next to her. And she is essentially saying, I enjoyed this. I took what I needed from this moment. If you walk out that door and never come back, I'm good.
She calls herself the sanctuary. I just exist and let you exhale. But it's a sanctuary with a very clear exit sign, and she's perfectly fine if you use it.
It's benevolent detachment. That is an incredibly difficult psychological state to reach. She isn't angry. She isn't trying to possess him. She doesn't need ownership of the partner to validate the moment. She is entirely self-contained.
It feels like she genuinely knows her own worth so deeply that his validation is a nice bonus, but it's not the main course. It's irrelevant to her core self.
Which is the perfect setup for track 4, Take Your Time on Me, featuring Melody Sin again.
And this production is a collaboration, Joyans and DJ Rivar.
And when you see Riviera on the credits,
you know the drums are going to be a problem, in the absolute best way possible.
I love looking for that metadata note. River is messing with the drums again.
It's a guarantee of quality. This track is such a slow burn, slow hands tracing what you do not speak.
Think about the world we live in, the world 11 SEX, often chronicles. It's all hustle harmonics, right? It's about the grind, the speed, getting it done now.
In that world, asking someone to go slow is the ultimate power move. It is a luxury.
Poor people rush. Desperate people rush.
But Liannarie, she has time. And she is demanding that you take yours.
She's dictating the pace. We got all night just to learn this heat. She's conquered the hustle. Now she wants the time. That's the real wealth. And Melody Sin's background vocals, they just create this lush cushion of sound. It feels safe, enveloped.
It's so incredibly intimate. It's like the door is locked, the phones are off, and the rest of the world is a million miles away.
And speaking of locking the door, track 5.
Soft Launch.
A modern dating commentary masterpiece.
I am obsessed with this song. It is so specific and so brilliant. Close friends bubble with the green ring glow.
Anyone who has dated in the Instagram era knows exactly what that means.
It's soft launch. You post a picture of their hand holding a coffee cup, or just their shoes next to yours, or the back of their head at a museum. You don't tag them. You don't name them.
But usually people do that out of insecurity, right? They're not sure if the relationship will last. They don't want to commit to the hard launch and then have to do the public scrubbing of the photos later.
Or they're hiding something, but she turns it into a strategy of power. You, in my world, not their view. They don't need receipts just to know it's you.
She's critiquing the entire validation loop of social media relationships. Its privacy is power.
She is flipping the script entirely. She says, if you want a hard launch, you will see actions first, then the gallery.
He has to earn the tag.
He has to earn it. She's saying, you don't get the clout of being on my main feed until you prove you can handle the real me in my private life. It is brilliant. You in my night, not my name.
She's separating her public persona from her private sanctuary. It's gatekeeping at its finest.
And track 6, Sugar Rush Secret, just riffs on that theme. It's playful, it's secretive, it's about keeping the good stuff, the sweet stuff, hidden from the public eye.
It reinforces this idea that she has a life that the cameras, and by extension the listeners, and even us,
Yeah.
we don't get full access.
Which is so ironic because she's telling us all about it on a major album release.
But she's setting boundaries within the art itself. She's telling us that she has secrets without ever telling us what the secrets are. It's a masterful tease.
She's giving us the vibe of the secret without the name of the secret.
But then,
Mm-hmm.
just as you get comfortable in that sweet, secretive space, the vibe shifts hard.
Yeah. We're now moving into part 3, the confrontation. Tracks 7, 8, and 9. The lights go down and the playful energy just evaporates.
The soft phase is officially over. And it kicks off with track 7, Temporary Heaven.
Produced by Hustle Harmonics, you hear that tag and you know it's about to get cinematic. Moody. The bass gets lower. The stakes get higher.
And this track just confronts the gritty reality of the men she deals with. You pull up late with the guilt in your eyes, I see the ghost in the ride.
Oof. She is not blind. She is not naive. She knows this guy has a whole other life. He has baggage. He has another woman whose name he clenches in his jaw when he's with her.
But the killer line is, I am just the pause in between your wrecks.
That line, it hit me right in the chest. She's fully acknowledging that she's a rest stop for this broken man. He crashes his life. He comes to her to heal and refuel, and then he's going to go right back out and crash it all over again.
But here's the power move. On Sincere Lianna, this would have destroyed her. But here, she accepts it on her terms.
Exactly. She says, if I am only your temporary heavens, say it. I will light this room, then reclaim my light. She's not a victim of his temporary need.
She's the provider of mercy. You needed mercy, it just looked like me.
That's the difference. Before, she would have drowned with him. She would have tried to save him and gone down with the ship.
Now she's a lifeguard. She'll pull you out of the water, dry you off, give you a bottle of water, and send you on your way. But she stays on the shore. She stays dry.
She can hold his weight, but she will not drown with him. That's a boundary she never had before.
And acknowledging that difficult truth, that she can be a temporary heaven for someone, leads us directly to the anchor of the entire project.
Track 8. Dalisay.
The title track. Produced by Joyens.
This song, we have to spend some real time here. This is the heart of the whole album. Malina's spirit, not Malina's story.
It's the intellectual and emotional core. And it starts with that incredible declaration. I am not innocent. I am intentional. Big difference.
Let's just sit with that for a second. The difference between innocence and intention.
Innocence is a lack of experience. Innocence means you don't know any better. You're good because you haven't had the chance to be bad, or you haven't been hurt enough to know how the world really works.
Intention is wisdom. Intention is knowledge applied to experience. She's saying, I have seen it all. I know how this game is played. I know the dark parts of the world, and I am actively choosing to move with a clean spirit anyway.
And then comes the line we talked about at the top. I do not do saved, I do paid attention.
It's a direct challenge. It's a challenge to the listener, to the men in her life, maybe even a little nod to DLB, and the idea of being put on.
She's saying, don't look at me like I need rescuing. I'm not a princess in a tower. I am the scholar in the library taking notes on everything.
And the chorus? Oh, the chorus. If you want pure, go pray, do not reach. If you want real, come close, do not preach.
She is redefining holiness itself. We have sources that mention DLB's philosophy of radical freedom, right?
Yeah.
That you have to be free to find your true self.
And Liannarie is using that freedom to define holiness on her own terms. She doesn't need a church. She doesn't need a priest. As she says, she is brown girl holy in a beach view frame.
It's incredible. And then my favorite line, maybe on the whole album, my body, not a rumor, it is a blueprint.
Talk about that. What do you think that means?
I think it's a direct response to years of being talked about, of having her relationships and her body be the subject of gossip and speculation. She's saying, stop talking about me like I'm a rumor. Look at me. Every scar, every tan line, every experience is part of the design. It's not damage. It's architecture.
It's the blueprint for the woman she is today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the production here from Joyens, the metadata calls it soul felt, and it's perfect. It blends this deep melancholy with a quiet triumph. Sounds like a victory lap, but a slow one. A victory lap walked with a slight limp, maybe, but with her head held high.
I am Dalisay in the way I survive. Purity as survival. Not as a lack of experience, but as the result of it. It's a stunning redefinition of the word.
And if Dalisay is the claim, track 9 is the receipt.
Paid in Tears. Produced by Hustle Harmonics again, so you know the vibe is heavy. It was earned. It was paid in tears. Signed with salt.
This is what validates the Dalisay claim. You can only be this clean after you've sweat out all the toxins. It's the transition from the bruise to the glow.
My favorite line from this one is, "My softness not free, it is a paid-off bill."
Economic language applied to emotional labor. I love that. She's sending out the invoices. She's saying, you like this calm, peaceful version of me? You like this glow? You like this vibe?
Do you have any idea what it cost? It cost me nights on the bathroom floor. It cost me the entirety of the Sincerely Liana album. So don't you dare touch it unless you can afford the price of admission.
Walang utang, I do not owe you peace. No debt. She squared her accounts. She owes nothing to anyone.
And once the bill is paid, once you've acknowledged the cost and settled the accounts, what's left?
Peace. Resolution. The ability to just exist. Which takes us to the final act, part 4. The resolution. Tracks 10, 11, and 12.
And we open this final act with track 10, Tan Lines and Rosaries, produced by DJ VividVoices. And I think this might be my favorite song on the album. The vibe is just immaculate.
It is so visually evocative. It paints such a clear picture. Bikini top, where my shame used to sit. Brown waist out where the guilt would hit.
She is directly juxtaposing Catholic guilt, the rosaries, the idea of shame and modesty, with this absolute, unapologetic bodily autonomy, the tan lines, the beach, the skin.
It's the intersection of deep-rooted culture and hard-won freedom. And she gives us that line, the aunties squint when I pass their chairs.
Anyone from a similar cultural background felt that in their soul, that look of disapproval from the elders.
But she's not angry about it. She's just noting it. And then she gives us her thesis, if heaven got a problem with a girl like me, he can watch me shine by the open sea.
It's defiance, but it's so gentle. It's not a middle finger to God. It's a confident statement. It's her saying, me and the creator, we're good. I don't need the middleman anymore. I don't need the aunties to translate my worth for me.
And River's production here, we get that note again. River is messing with the drums again. It's that signature lo-fi, chill trap bounce. It sounds like a sunset. It sounds like the sugar palm vibe we talked about, but lighter, freer.
It creates this space where rosary beads next to the phone on a beach towel isn't a contradiction, it's a lifestyle.
She's integrated the two halves of her identity, the tradition and the modernity, the sacred and the secular. They can coexist.
Then we drift into track 11, Still Blue. Also, VividVoices on production. You still cross my mind when the sky turned cool.
This track is all about maturity. Unsincerely, Liana, a memory of an ex would cripple her. It would send her into a spiral and ruin her whole week.
Oh, for sure.
Here, I don't cry, I don't ask for proof. I just feel it when I think of you. It connects directly to Still in Me from her previous work, but the acute pain is gone.
It's just a blue tint in the sky. It's a color, not a wound.
That's the lesson, right? Healing doesn't mean amnesia. You don't have to completely forget someone to be over them. You can let them be a shade of blue in your memory without letting them be the storm.
You can look at the scar and remember how you got it without reliving the pain of the cut. That's real healing.
And finally, she brings it all home. Track 12, Easy Tonight, produced by Joyens, the outro.
After the runway flex, the temporary heaven drama, and the paid in tears accounting, she ends with simple peace.
Easy Tonight. The title itself suggests that peace isn't some permanent destination you arrive at and then you're done. It's a nightly decision. It's a choice you make.
I'm just learning how to breathe. It ends on this note of ease. She isn't fighting anymore. She isn't striving. She's just being.
It's the exhale. The entire album, you feel her holding her breath through the confrontation, through the pain, and this final track is her finally, slowly letting it all out, letting her shoulders drop.
What a journey.
So now, if we pull back and look at the whole project, we have to talk about the production. Part 5 of our deep dive, the 11SX ecosystem and the women who built this sound.
We have to give flowers here, because for so long the narrative around 11SX was DLB makes the beat, the artist sings on it, and that's just not the case anymore.
Not at all. DLB is still all over the writing credits. His pen is sharp as ever. But the sonic architecture of this album, that belongs to Joyens and DJ VividVoices.
Joyens, Yuna, she gives us those melodies that get stuck in your head like a core memory. That Touched by Joyens tag is a promise of emotional depth. She can make a synthesizer sound like it's crying.
And DJ VividVoices, River Simone Lawson, She is the heartbeat. She's the drums. She brings that effortless cool factor. We saw her that time at the Viceroy pool, remember? Just the epitome of cool. That energy is all over tan lines and rosaries.
And you still have hustle harmonics providing that cinematic lo-fi texture that grounds it in the classic 11SX sound. But it's the shift in authorship that's so telling.
The authorship report, the source we looked at, framed it as the evolution from architect-led to sovereign authorship.
In the Tala Diwata era, DLB was the lead composer on almost everything. He was the architect. He drew the blueprints.
Now, you look at the credits for Dalisay, and the name Liannarie Santos de la Cruz is listed first on the majority of these tracks. DLB is the collaborator. He's not the primary voice anymore. He's the echo.
It connects right back to that Lost Youth voicemail context. We know DLB is leaving. Dalisay is the proof that Liannarie doesn't need him to hold her hand anymore.
She honors the blueprint he built. She references it constantly, but she is building her own floor plan right on top of it. She's adding a new wing to the estate.
He left her the keys, and she's completely redecorated the living room. And I'm not going to lie, I like the new furniture a lot better.
The student has become the master. It's a classic story, but it's amazing to see it play out in real time.
Okay, so that brings us to part 6, the final verdict. Top picks. I know this is tough because the album is such a cohesive front-to-back listen, but if you had to plant your flag on one track...
Oh, this is so hard. It really does flow so well as a complete unit.
Yeah.
But, okay, if I had to choose one, my top pick is Dalisay, the title track.
The intellectual choice, I knew you were going to pick that one. Make your case.
It's the core. It's the Rosetta Stone for the entire Liannarie era. The redefinition of the word pure, from innocent to survivor, is a literary masterpiece in a 3-minute song. That one line, I am Dalisay in the way I survive, justifies the entire album's existence. It reframes her whole history not as a series of tragedies, but as a purification process. It's the thesis statement of her entire career now. That changes how you hear every song she released before this.
I feel that is a solid, defensible choice. For me, though, I have to go with the vibe.
Let me guess. Tan lines and rosaries.
You know it. It's the visual choice. It just captures that perfect, unbothered, sun-kissed freedom, the imagery of the rosary beads next to the iPhone on the beach towel. It's iconic.
It is a very strong image.
It's the auntie's squint line for me. It feels so real, so culturally specific, but also so universal. It's the sound of being free in your own skin despite the judgment of your elders. It just sounds like summer.
Okay, honorable mention. What's the one that almost made the cut?
For me, Runway. For the sheer confidence flex. Peace cost what my plane paid. I want to tattoo that on my forehead. I want it on a t-shirt. It's a life philosophy.
That's a strong contender. For me, the honorable mention is Temporary Heaven. The brutal honesty of, I am just, the pause in between your wrecks is just devastatingly self-aware.
Okay, so the big one, the vibe check. Is this album better than Sincerely Lianna?
Ooh. That's a loaded question.
It is, because Sincerely Lianna was so raw. It was an open wound. It was blood on the tracks, you know. It's what so many people fell in love with.
I don't think better is the right word. I don't think you can compare them that way. It's the sequel. It's the necessary next chapter.
Yeah, what?
Sincerely was the wound. Dalisay is the scar that has healed over. You can't have the beautiful, silvery scar without the methy, painful wound.
Yeah.
They're two halves of the same story.
Sincerely asked all the questions. Dalisay provides the answers.
Sincerely was the night. Dalisay is the morning.
That's it. I agree 100%. Sincerely was the album for the nights you wanted to cry and drink a bottle of wine by yourself. Dalisay is for the morning after, when you wash your face, put on your sunglasses, and decide you're going to be okay after all.
So let's bring it all home. The so what? Why does any of this matter? Why should the person driving to work right now listening to us care about Liannarie's personal evolution?
Because we live in a world of curated, fake perfection. Everyone on social media wants to look clean. Everyone wants to post their wins and act like they never took a loss, never made a mistake.
But Liannarie gets on the mic and admits her softness is a paid-off bill. She admits the cost. She shows you the receipts.
And it challenges you, the listener, to look at your own scars not as flaws, but as proof of payment. It challenges all of us to embrace that malignus sa spirit, not malignus sa story idea in our own lives.
You can have a messy history. You can have failed relationships, bad decisions, lost years, and still have a pure, intentional spirit moving forward. Your past does not have to contaminate your future.
And that's a powerful idea. But here's the final provocative thought I want to leave everyone with today.
Okay.
We know DLB is leaving. We know the architect is walking away from the table. We've heard the voicemails. We've seen the credits shift. It's happening. But after listening to Dalisay, after hearing the command and the vision Liannarie has on these 12 tracks, you have to ask yourself a completely different question.
Would you?
He isn't leaving the house empty. He's leaving the keys with Liannarie. And if this album, this confidence, this vision, this paid in tears boss energy is what she does with just the living room.
What is she going to do with the whole damn estate?
The mind reels.
That
Yeah.
is a fascinating prospect. The future of the 11SIX legacy is in very, very interesting hands.
Keep your spirit clean, even if the story gets messy. This was The Deep Dive.
See you on the next flight.